I continue. Again, this is also the same individual spirit that's spoken about in Joel 2:28 and 29, which is confirmed by Peter in Acts 2:16 through 18. So remember, the writers of the Apostolic Scriptures are not inventing new experiences when they're writing about the power of the Holy Spirit coming upon and coming within individuals. They're drawing all of their theology from the TaNaKH and from the promises, but they're filling it in those promises with their own experience that they're now enjoying in this new covenant reality in Messiah. So the two are working together. There's not a dichotomy between Old Covenant and New Covenant, or Old Testament and New Testament in that respect. Rather, we have promise and prophecy in the TaNaKH and Old Testament, which are fulfilled and explained in the New Testament. It's the old adage, the old is the new contained, the new is the old explained. I think that's the way, that's one of the or the old is the new, the old is the new revealed, the old is the new concealed, the new is the old revealed. One of those ways. You guys, I think most Christians understand what I'm talking about. Let's continue. The Ruach HaKodesh was indeed present in the days of the TaNaKH, right? When we read historically about empowering individuals such as B'tzal'el and Shimshon, right? That's I don't even know how you say it in English. B'tzal'el is how I say it in Hebrew. B'tzal'el? B'tzal'el? I'll have to look that up in my English version. But Samson is Shimshon. And these individuals, of course, enjoyed a presence of the Holy Spirit that was very unique. B'tzal'el was the master craftsman, as I talk about, who designed many of the pieces of the ark. I'm sorry, not just the ark, but the tabernacle. God supernaturally empowered him to be able to create those pieces. And then Samson, of course, had the power of the Spirit come upon him so that he could do miraculous works. He was kind of like the very first Avenger in the truest sense of the word, and that he had a superpower. He had the kind of a super soldier serum, the Holy Spirit, that enabled him to become super strong and do many, many mighty things, kind of a mashup between what we might think of in terms of Captain America and the Hulk. He had some ability to where he became strong. First he was weak, but now he became strong, right? Both of those Avengers enjoy that particular aspect. So, but B'tzal'el and Shimshon, yet when we're talking about the Holy Spirit, his ministry was slightly different than that of today because of his unique role in what happened after Acts chapter 2. So what happened in Acts chapter 2? We already know it. It's the outpouring of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, which enabled the disciples to be able to speak in new languages that they'd never learned, and to begin to share the gospel with all peoples of the surrounding nations, and to explain the salvation of Jesus and the new birth experience. I go on to say, perhaps it's best to think of his ministry in the TaNaKH as, quote, less expansive, end quote, than as compared to today. Less expansive, I go on to say, is not to be equated with non-existent, quote unquote. Understand the difference? Less expansive means he was there, but he wasn't working as broadly in the way that he would do after Acts chapter 2. And this was according to the plans and purposes of God. God uniquely planned it that the Holy Spirit would be more expansive in the New Testament writings and apostolic era than he would in the time periods of the TaNaKH. That's just according to the mystery of God. But again, less expansive is not the same as non-existent. I continue. A survey of the passages and wording used in both testaments, right, Old and New, will show that the quote-unquote Old does not exclusively employ an on reading, and ostensibly compared to an exclusive in reading in the New. So again, just from the writings themselves, from the raw data, there's not exclusive in versus on in the Bible. And then in closing, again, we're finishing this up tonight, and we'll poise ourselves for brand new studies next year when we meet again January 7th, that Saturday. I conclude by saying, rather, a survey of the passages and wording that's used in quote-unquote both testaments, i.e. the whole Bible, will demonstrate we have quote on unquote and in quote-unquote being used interchangeably And this is the way the Bible is given to us, and it's done this way for a reason. It's used interchangeably in order to teach us that the Ruach HaKodesh both saves, that is in, and empowers, that is on, and that he does so consequently and consistently with the eternal plans and purposes of God the Father. And so in that way, in closing, what we can see is that the Holy Spirit is the power sent from God. He's not merely an impersonal force and a thing, right? He's not a construct. He's not just a piece of code that God wrote or programmed and downloaded into us as believers so that we can operate correctly. He's not an operating system. The Holy Spirit is not an impersonal object, nor is he a thing, right? He's not a mineral. He's not impersonal. Rather, he has a work and a ministry. He has feelings. He has emotions. He has a will, and in his role as agency, as being an agent of the Father, being sent by the Father and the Son. When we talked about spiration, again, I'll flash a little logo on a little review, a little image on the screen that talks about spirated, where the Holy Spirit is breathed out from the Father and the Son. Right, the Father sends the Spirit and the Son sends the Spirit. That whole filioque debate all over again. But the Holy Spirit is sent, and he obediently does that which the Father tells him to do, much like Yeshua in that agency fashion. But the Holy Spirit is sent by the Father to be upon people, to empower them, and to be within people, to regenerate the heart so that a man can cry out, Abba, Father, and can come into the salvation experience, a genuine salvation experience with God the Father, exclusively through Yeshua the Son. But that's going to do it for our Shema study tonight. Exploring the Shema discussions on the issues of Trinity is officially ended. It's over. We finished it. Wow. At the end of the year. So we're done with our Matthew study, and we're done with the Shema study. Next year, starting in January 7th, we'll start 2 brand new studies for the hour-long studies. Again, I don't have both of them decided upon yet. Still praying about which ones to work on or which ones to present. But I hope you join me again for these live studies where we talk about these particular topics. I know one of them is going to be a Trinity topic, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided on the other one yet, but that'll do it for our study for tonight. Be blessed. Stay safe. Have a blessed holiday season, and everyone have a blessed new year, and we'll see you again in the brand new year.